This is your First Alert Weather Breakdown, a deep dive into how weather works with meteorologist Evan Thomason.
Welcome on to the First Alert Weather Breakdown. I'm meteorologist Evan Thomason. It's Tuesday. You know what that means? We're bringing on CJ Cartledge. All right, I thought I'd do something a little fancier that time. How you doing, man?
I'm doing pretty good on this Tuesday morning. How are you doing on Tuesday?
Doing fairly well. I always feel, especially on days like this, I know you filled in for Matt last night.
Mm-hmm.
You came in, what'd you do? You came home, you went to sleep, and then come back here? Is that pretty much how it went with the short break?
That's pretty much. I got to sleep in a little bit before I went to the gym, came back, took a shower, and came right back into work, ready for another day of weather forecasting. And, gotta love it. I love every day that I get the chance to improve my skills and talk to you guys about what's coming. And we're expecting not much through the next 7 days, but we could see a little bit of a cool down too, just to give a sneak peek into the forecast.
Yeah, way longer into the future, that's for certain. We'll get into that in a little bit. It's an intriguing forecast, though, especially because I feel like the short term, there's not much to discuss. One of the things we always kind of cling on to as meteorologists is change. When is change? There's not much changing around the Arklatex, especially once we've kind of settled into what we're expecting here for today. And what we're expecting here for today continues on, honestly, for the next 4 to 5 days. We're stuck in a muggy, warm pattern. Are you a fan, CJ?
Well, not a fan of the mugginess, but I'm a fan of the warm pattern for sure because I like the warmer weather. It makes it feels like winter has passed, but certainly has not. Not just yet. But just giving it a little bit of a false winter. Have you seen those social media posts about first winter, false winter, summertime, and then back to winter again? We're in false winter or false spring. False spring is what I was going to say.
There you go. Yep, that's it.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. There you go.
Yeah.
So that's the season we're in right now. I know one thing you were working for this past weekend was Groundhog's Day.
Mm-hmm.
I was back on February 2nd. Now, I know at first glance, especially the forecast on Sunday 2 days ago, if the Groundhog only saw what was coming this week, he wouldn't have predicted 6 more weeks of winter.
Right.
But it could change a little bit next week. We're going to get into the forecast a little bit later, but let's go over what we're expecting here later on today, our agenda, if you will. Topics for today, we have a warm, muggy forecast on tap. So we'll get to that in just a moment. But first, we're going to explore some weather phenomenon, or not as much videos, actually. We're really exploring Groundhog's Day. We're doing things kind of outside of the realm of TikTok just for now. It's kind of been put on pause for a little bit, at least on the First Alert Weather Breakdown Weather podcast. But that doesn't mean we won't do some fun things with CJ. All right, so let's bring out your Groundhog Day forecast, or not forecast, shall we? But let's bring up the Groundhog here, and he definitely saw his shadow this past week on Sunday, was it? I think it was early in the morning as well in Pennsylvania, I believe. You got some of the details behind that, CJ, as we have now 6 more weeks of winter.
Yes, according to Punxsutawney Phil, he came out of his shadow, or he came out of his hole, as I should say. Getting a little bit ahead of myself there. He came out of his hole at around 7:26 a.m. Eastern time, so it was around 6:26 Central time. And he actually saw his shadow, even with mostly cloudy skies, located in Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania, which is just maybe an hour north of Pittsburgh, just to give you guys some perspective. So it's western or northwestern Pennsylvania. So he did see his shadow, which means his prediction for this season is that we'll be experiencing early spring-like conditions. Or not early spring-like conditions, but 6 more weeks of winter.
Other way around.
If he did not see his shadow, then we would be expecting, or his prediction would be early spring. Got my brain jumping up there. Sorry about that. But it doesn't seem like we will be experiencing 6 more weeks of winter or winter-like conditions, at least through this week. But we could see another cool down as we move into the second half of our weekend, as well as the next couple of days going through the month of February. Going through the rest of the month, we could see some winter-like conditions with multiple systems rolling through, according to what the models were saying, with one of the systems moving through, not producing much rain, but it will bring us a cool down here. So Punxsutawney Phil's prediction may be a little bit accurate this year, but his accuracy overall is not so good, as the national average is 39%. So it's not good, but this has been recording since around 1887. So he has some time to make some good predictions, but most of the time it's actually over 100 times, around 109 now, I believe it was.
Yep.
109 times that he saw his shadow. And including this year, he saw his shadow. But last year's prediction was accurate. He did not see his shadow, which means we did receive an early spring, and that prediction was accurate. And hopefully Phil can stand on his prediction, or his prediction could be correct this year, where 6 more weeks of winter will be likely for us, or at least for the country.
Yeah, honestly, there was something wrong about it being early February and me walking out early in the morning to 60s.
Yeah.
Our morning temperatures were mid-60s and muggy. I think for the first time since last year, I told people just to wear T-shirt and shorts out the door on the what to wear outside, because I'm like, don't even bother with the jacket unless it's a rain jacket, light one at that. But oh man, it's
crazy. It's definitely crazy. But we are in the South, so we got to get used to the southerly flow patterns like we are now, and as well as the high pressure systems that love to stay in our area through the next couple of days. And high pressure staying in the southern United States is different from high pressure up north, where temperatures just are a little bit warmer than how they are but to the northern portions of the United States.
Yep, you got that right. All right, let's go into our actually, before we go into our forecast, I realized we've been talking about this groundhog stuff for a little while. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to toss a quick break, catch my break on this groundhog stuff, and then we'll go over to our main weather forecast, promise, after quick 2-minute break. We'll see you right back here after this with a little, well, I wouldn't say little, but excuse me, extended local forecast we'll have for you right after a 2-minute break. See ya. All right, welcome on back to the main weather forecast. We're going to hop straight into it. Actually, but before we actually hop right into it real quick, I want to go over our YouTube viewers. Again, if you have any comments, any questions on the forecast, let us know. And me and CJ are both here to answer it for you, so to speak. All right, so let's get into the Mattress Plus Skycam. Me and CJ are kind of going to alternate the graphics here and pinpoint and highlight some things of each and every graphic. Again, for our first look with a breakdown, we kind of basically take your main weather forecast and times that by 2 or 3, so to speak. We have a lot more time to talk about different things, and we have a lot more time to go over several different graphics. That's what makes it the first alert with a breakdown, so to speak. All right, Mattress Plus Skycam. It's a cloudy day. It's been this way all day long. We did have some fog this morning that has now thankfully rolled away, but overall, a pretty consistent cloud deck that's expected to stick with us here throughout the rest of the day. And for the northern half of the Arclitex, it looks more of the same.
Yeah, it definitely does look more of the same with some lower clouds out there, maybe a little bit of some fog for this morning. I know it was pretty, the atmosphere was pretty saturated last night as some of the car windshields was showing some dew out there, or at least some foggy conditions as well, and across some areas around the Arclitex. But we're expecting these clouds to potentially lift as we move into this afternoon. Maybe a few isolated showers are possible, but throughout the daytime hours, we're expecting a saturated atmosphere for sure and temperatures to rise, but mainly dependent on this cloud cover, it will limit how high they will rise, similar to how we saw yesterday with mostly sunny conditions for the northern half, mostly cloudy for the southern half. But overall, we're expecting warm days ahead, including today, tomorrow, the next day, and even heading into our Saturday with some muggy conditions pretty much lasting as well, or continuing as well. But we're expecting another warm trend here around the Arclitex as we move into the rest of the work week, as said before, and heading into our weekend before the potential cold front arrives or moves through the Arclitex here.
Yep. So here's how that happens, so to speak. We're taking a look at the upper level pattern. If you notice, there is not much to kind of speak on, and that's kind of the point, honestly. In order to have most of this muggy, warm feel and more muggy, warm kind of air mass, in order for that to finally push out of the region, you need something huge and something massive, especially in the upper level pattern, some low pressure system to officially move everything out of the way. And as you can see, there is none, which means we have something called a zonal flow aloft, which means we're hanging around with the same weather kind of stuck in place here for the next several days, which leaves our highs feeling well above normal and a bit of a muggy feel, especially because at the surface, keep in mind again, most of the winds are flowing kind of along those black lines that you see there aloft in the upper levels. At the surface, though, we have winds coming from the south, though, which is picking us up consistent warmer temperatures that are well above average, and also muggy conditions, picking up a good bit of moisture from the Gulf of Mexico. But we have no major systems still coming in over the next several days, again, because we have nothing that's helping to organize any big system to bring us any scattered showers back into the Arclitex. So as a result, we, as CJ said, we continue to maintain our high temperatures, well above average, and very muggy conditions too.
Here's our temperatures for today, or at least this afternoon. 67 near Broken Bow, and same for the Queen. It looks to be getting warmer as we move down to the south and eastern corner of the region, or at least the south and eastern part of the Arclitex. 75 for Texarkana, 76 in Doddridge, and 77 here for Shreveport and Bossier. Over in East Texas, we can expect a little bit some warmer conditions overall. 82 potentially near Henderson, which is notoriously the warmest portion around the Arclitex pretty much every day. 77 for Nacogdoches and Chirano, 79 for Hemphill. And over in northwest Louisiana, 77 for Bienville and Jonesboro, just south of that I-20 interstate. 79 for Natchitoches, and same for Coshada. Those areas could potentially reach into the lower 80s as well, still threatening those daily record highs. And as I said before, isolated showers are possible, as well as these muggy feeling conditions out there. I did see the muggy meter show that we could be rising up to that yellow range, which is feeling a little bit muggy. This looks to continue through the daytime hours into some parts of our evening before they fizzle out, potentially. And as we move through the evening, these clouds may clear out just a little bit, similar to how we saw just last night, but not totally. We'll still be hanging on to some cloud cover in some areas around the Arklatex. And as you can see, going into Wednesday morning, similar pattern is expected, with southerly flow bringing about some cloud cover and isolated showers. And the clouds will begin to fizzle out as we move into the evening. And so will our Thursday. Similar conditions are expected as well, with a couple of isolated showers once again. So once again, maybe a rinse and repeat, but just a repeat of these similar conditions. Clouds in the morning and clouds fizzling out by the time we hit the afternoon and evening before they rise again or come in again as we head into the next morning. Rainfall potential, not much, if anything at all. It actually has decreased since yesterday. And with the next weather maker in the forecast here, it shows that it's not going to be producing much rain, along with the isolated showers that are possible for most areas north of I-20 and between I-49 and I-20 as well. Maybe a quarter of an inch at the most to the far northern portions of the region, but simply just not much, at least through the next 3 days, as you can see.
Yeah, it's for the next 3 days. Eventually, we will finally break out of this pattern, and the question is when. Well, again, over the next couple of days on our long-term future track, you look regionally, you'll see those consistent little systems coming off of the Gulf of Mexico with just big bundles of cloud cover pretty much each and every day, all the way until Sunday morning. That's when we finally start to seem to break out of our cycle here with actual consistent and a little more widespread and sustained rain showers around the Arklatex here for Sunday morning. And that's finally going to look to build in some colder, drier air that you'll see coming in from the north, more towards Missouri and Kansas on Sunday night. That's going to travel into the Arklatex by the time we get into Monday. So again, this is what you're watching out for. A big cold front coming on through, although we have lots of uncertainty with the rain showers, yes. But what I'm much more certain about is that there's much colder air overall coming back and pushing into the Arklatex here for next work week. So honestly, between this week and next week, it's going to be polar opposites and a stark contrast between, again, this week and next week. And last thing, again, before we get into next week, what's the motto, CJ?
Warm, saturated, repeat. WSR. Remember that for this week. Warm, saturated, repeat. And that's exactly what's going to be going on through the rest of this work week and into our Saturday as well, where highs are expected to peak in the lower 80s across the region. Here's our 7-day forecast. 77 for a high on Tuesday with 20% rain chance. Wednesday, 20% rain chance. Thursday, 20% rain chance. Friday, 20% rain chance. Same for Saturday as well, with highs peaking out once again in the lower 80s on Thursday and Saturday. We could also hit the lower 80s on Wednesday and Friday too, depending on the cloud cover. Once again, look at those mornings out there in the 60s. Not too far away from those highs, in the 60s or lower 60s for our Wednesday morning, upper 60s for Thursday morning, lower 60s again by Friday morning, and heading into this weekend as well before the cool down arrives, heading into Super Bowl Sunday, which actually features some slight rain chances due to the next weather maker rolling through. This will push our highs down into the 50s by Monday and into the 40s for lows by the time we hit our Monday morning as well.
Man, that's crazy. And again, those 50s for highs, and I believe we'll have some morning temperatures dipping lower into the upper 30s here for next work week. The point is, our cold, wintry weather, it's coming back, and it's not just coming back only for Monday. In our 12-day forecast, this is something that looks to be sustained and sticking around here throughout a bulk of next work week. All right, that was a look at our local forecast. Thanks for joining us. Coming up next, we'll have a kind of a recap of this episode. We'll talk with CJ one more time, and we'll see what you can look forward to on tomorrow's episode. All coming up on the last segment of the First Alert Weather Breakdown after this. All right, welcome on back to the First Alert Weather Breakdown. Again, thanks for joining us I'm meteorologist I'm meteorologist Evan Thomason, not CJ Cartledge. I was about to introduce you again. But thanks for joining us on this episode. We're going to have so many more fun Tuesdays coming ahead. I know kind of TikTok's been on a little bit of a pause recently, just because, not to get into the politics of it all, but it's just been on pause. But guess what? That just makes way for us to come together and come up with newer, better content here on the First Alert Weather Breakdown with your man CJ. So one of the things I think you're going to bring to the table and really showcase a lot is some cool weather videos. And trust me, there's something always to look at every single day.
Whether it ranges from snow that's happening up to the north and west or tornadoes that have happened in the past, like EF5, EF4s, it's something definitely interesting to look at. Maybe some people are scared of those, but those tornadoes and other weather phenomena. But it's kind of interesting to look at once you relax the fear of it all. Just enjoy or experience or be fascinated with what's coming, pretty much, or what we will be showing you here on the First Alert Weather Breakdown.
And you can also look at international weather headlines, too. There's some always impressive stuff that happens not just here in the country. But, CJ, did you know that, I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing this wrong, but Obihiro, I think it's spelled Obihiro City, Obihiro City in Japan, it just recorded their most amount of snowfall in a 12-hour span yesterday.
Oh, really? How much was it?
47 inches of snow. It's 4 feet in a span of 12 hours.
4 feet?
4 feet in a span of 12 hours. Now, we don't have clearance to show you video, but trust me, if you look that up, you just literally type in Japan snow, you can see some of the videos on the internet. We might have to show you some of that stuff next week. It's really impressive because you literally see, obviously, 4 feet. That's as tall as some people sometimes.
Oh my!
You'll see some of the people shoveling snow, and they're literally digging like a massive hole. It looks like
that's like up to their chest or neck.
Yeah,
that's insane. I've never heard of that. Not even in the U.S. or anywhere. 4 feet of snow. Maybe Russia. Russia seems like they're the type of country to get a lot of snow like that.
We always talk about cold Siberian air always coming through. So yeah, I can guess that. Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
But
so
that is insane. 48. You said 46 or 46?
47. 47. Yeah.
So just shy of 4 feet. That's still a lot of snow. A lot. And that would be literally a nuisance to us here in the U.S., especially here. We don't have many snowplows down here, so oh my gosh. Please forbid that from ever happening here.
Just a little bit of ice shuts us down. You imagine what 4 feet of snow here does?
We'll be. I could expect
that's
this
a
to be
week,
shut down
maybe a month.
Yeah, that's close to a month for us. Maybe a little bit less for areas up to the northeast, but. That's debilitating.
You know why bears usually hibernate in the winter? It's for cases like this.
We might be forced into hibernation. Nobody go outside.
Exactly.
It's 4 feet of snow on the ground. No.
Stock in as much food and water as you can before that kind of event and just hunker down.
Oh, yeah. Wow. That's fascinating. That's news to me.
Yeah. So anyways, case in point, there's something new that happens every single day weather-wise. It's a cool world. It's a cool world, especially what Mother Nature can do and all of power to her. But certainly in the article text, she's kind of abandoning us and just here's some muggy, here's some warm conditions. There, play with it for the next 5 days or so. Things aren't changing around here again until Super Bowl Sunday, essentially. That's kind of our big changeover day. Highs this week, again, upper 70s, maybe a few lower 80s. Again, for the rest of this entire week. Then you get into next week, and, it's kind of back into winter. Back into what February should be.
Yeah, exactly. February not necessarily should see 80-degree temperatures unless we're at the equator. Yeah. But we are not.
No. Far from it. Far from it. All right, so, that's some things you can look forward to with CJ on the Tuesdays ahead. Thanks for coming on, CJ.
Yeah,
appreciate it. On the First Alert Weather Breakdown. We will talk to you again CJ will talk to you again next Tuesday, but technically he'll be on the episode tomorrow. Tomorrow on the First Alert Weather Breakdown on Wednesday at 10:30. Guess what? We were going to have a Met Chat. CJ's going to be on there, but also Austin Evans, Chief Meteorologist Matt Jones. We're all going to be on there. We're going to be having honestly, more of a low-key kind of Met chat. The past couple of weeks, we've been talking about some serious weather topics. I figured we take it a tune down low and talk some more things just about us, get to know us a little more. Because I know we kind of have those, introductory, like, you have your first introductory show into KSLA News 12, and it's like, learn this and this and this about this person. But, I don't know, sometimes you need to check back in on people, see how they're doing.
Right. Exactly.
Don't have to get to personal life, but just how's your routine with work going, so to speak? What's your favorite type of candy? That kind of thing. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Anyways, that episode will be on tomorrow. You'll learn more about all your 4 meteorologists here at KSLA News 12. All right, that's going to do it for us here. Again, join us again tomorrow, 10:30, Wednesday. See you there. Be there. Be square. And most importantly, be weather aware. We'll see you tomorrow. And thanks again, CJ.
Yep, no problem. It's a joy to be on here on the First Alert Weather Breakdown.
Yep. All right. See you again tomorrow. Peace out.